Crashgate, the Singapore Grand Slam of Shenanigans. Imagine deliberately crashing a Formula One car at 150 miles per hour. Sounds insane, right? Well, in 2008, Renault thought it was a perfectly reasonable race strategy. At the Singapore Grand Prix, Nelson Piquet Jr. spun his car into the wall. To the world, it looked like a rookie mistake, but conveniently, his crash brought out a safety car. At the exact moment Fernando Alonso, his teammate, had just pitted. Suddenly Alonso was catapulted up the order and somehow he went on to win. A year later the scandal broke. Piquet had admitted the crash was no accident. Renault had ordered him to do it. Formula One had officially turned into WWE. The fallout: Pat Symonds was banned, team boss Flavio Briatore was exiled, and Alonso claimed he didn't know anything about it. Fans still debate that part. Did Alonso really not notice the world's most suspiciously well-timed crash? That's like saying you didn't notice your mate sneaking fireworks into the pub. To this day, people call it one of the darkest chapters in F1 history. Others just call it the greatest safety car deployment ever engineered. Schumacher parking, the slowest lap in Monaco history. Monaco 2006, qualifying. Michael Schumacher, a man not exactly known for subtlety, suddenly parks his Ferrari at Rascasse Corner, just stops, like a tourist stalling a rental. The timing? Suspicious? Fernando Alonso was on a flying lap, about to take pole. Instead, yellow flags came out. Everyone slowed down. Schumacher's lap stood. Job done. When questioned, Michael claimed it was a simple driver error, which, frankly, was less believable than a Ferrari reliability guarantee. The stewards weren't buying it. They deleted his lap time and sent him to the back of the grid. But here's where the conspiracy really lives. Some fans believe Schumacher wasn't just playing dirty. He was testing how far he could bend Monaco's unwritten rules. After all, it's the one track where you can park a car and cause chaos. Others point out that drivers today still use strategic yellow flags when they spin in qualifying. Schumacher might not have invented the move, but he certainly perfected it. Monaco gridlock. It's not just for rush hour traffic, it's for seven-time world champions too. Multi 21. Red Bull's Civil War. Malaysia 2013, Mark Webber leads, Sebastian Vettel follows. The team radio crackles, Multi 21. That's Red Bull code for hold position. Don't fight. What does Vettel do? He overtakes anyway. Bold as brass. Webber's fury was instant. On the cool-down lap, he was fuming. In the cool-down room afterwards, he spat the immortal line, Multi 21 Seb. Multi 21 Vettel, smirking, muttered, "Yeah, I was racing." Here's where the conspiracy starts. Fans wondered if Red Bull ever truly backed Webber at all. Was the team always tilted in Vettel's favour? Christian Horner insisted the order was fair, but Webber himself later said he never quite had equal treatment. The paddock rumour mill went wild. Did Red Bull secretly prefer Vettel because he was younger, faster and German, a perfect poster boy for a fizzy drink brand? Or was it simply Vettel being Vettel, ruthless, ambitious, and not remotely interested in instructions? Either way, Multi 21 became more than a team order. It became the smoking gun of a conspiracy theory that Red Bull never really had two drivers. They had Vettel, and they had the bloke keeping his seat warm. Senna versus Prost, the FIA's favourite child. Forget Hamilton versus Verstappen. The real civil war was Ayrton Senna versus Alain Prost in the late 80s and early 90s. Their rivalry made Hamilton-Rosberg look like a minor workplace spat. In 1989 at Suzuka, Prost and Senna collided at the chicane. Prost climbed out, race over. Senna rejoined, stormed back through the field and crossed the line first. Victory secured, except the FIA disqualified him for cutting the chicane. Senna cried foul. He claimed FIA boss Jean-Marie Balestre favoured his fellow Frenchman Prost. Fans agreed, calling it the French connection. The FIA insisted it was just the rules, but to many, it looked like Senna was robbed. Fast forward to 1990, same track, same rivals. Senna had pole, but Prost got the cleaner line into turn 1. Senna refused to lift. Boom. Collision at 170 miles per hour. Both out. Senna wins the championship, in the gravel. Years later, Senna admitted he'd done it deliberately as payback, and still, fans debate. Was he exposing bias in the system, or just settling scores the hard way? The conspiracy theory is simple. The FIA didn't control Senna and Prost. Senna and Prost controlled the FIA, and the whole sport bent around them. Ferrari International Assistance, red cars, special treatment. If you've ever heard the phrase Ferrari International Assistance, you already know the joke. Ferrari gets special treatment from the FIA. Is it true? Well, let's just say there's evidence. Take 1999. Ferrari lobbied for extra testing days. Approved. McLaren asked for the same. Denied. In 2003, Michelin developed tyres that grew wider during races, legal until Ferrari complained. The FIA banned them mid-season, just as Schumacher's title hopes were slipping. And don't forget 2019 when Ferrari's engine suddenly found suspicious amounts of horsepower. Rivals protested, the FIA investigated, and reached a private settlement. Translation: Ferrari promised never to do it again, and everyone else was told to mind their business. Fans have been saying it for years. F1 bends to keep Ferrari happy. After all, Ferrari bring the glamour, the fans, the history. Without them, F1 is just fast cars in empty car parks. So, is it conspiracy or reality? Either way, whenever Ferrari win, you'll hear the same grumble. It's not strategy, it's not speed, it's the FIA's favorite child getting another present. The BAR Honda weight loss plan. Honda weren't winning titles, but they were punching above their weight, quite literally as it turns out. After the San Marino Grand Prix, scrutineers discovered something odd. Jenson Button's car was under the minimum weight limit. How? A secret secondary fuel tank. It let the car run light during the race, then magically fill up afterwards to pass checks. Basically the Formula One equivalent of wearing Spanx through airport security. The FIA weren't impressed. They banned BAR for 2 races and stripped their points. Jenson Button's face said it all. Pure disappointment mixed with, "I can't believe my homework got caught." Here's where the conspiracy kicks in. Were BAR really the only ones doing it? Fans whisper that bigger teams had similar tricks, but BAR were the guinea pigs, punished to send a message. After all, they weren't Ferrari or McLaren, they were expendable. It begs the question, was this justice or politics dressed up as rule enforcement? Either way, BAR's weight loss program became the stuff of paddock legend, proof that in F1, innovation is celebrated, right up until it embarrasses the FIA. The curious case of Spygate, Ferrari versus McLaren espionage. 2007 was supposed to be a glorious year for McLaren. They had rookie Lewis Hamilton, superstar Fernando Alonso, and a car quick enough to fight Ferrari. Instead, they ended up in the biggest espionage scandal in F1 history. A 780-page Ferrari technical dossier somehow landed in McLaren's hands. The details were staggering. Fuel systems, brake balance, tyre pressures. It was like Ferrari's diary had been stolen. And McLaren, caught with the goods. The FIA went nuclear. They fined McLaren $100 million, $100 million, and stripped them of all constructors' points. It was the sporting equivalent of being executed in public. But here's the conspiracy twist. Did McLaren really act alone? Alonso reportedly threatened to expose the scandal unless he got #1 driver status. Ron Dennis went straight to the FIA, desperate to get ahead of the story. The politics spiraled. Some fans insist the FIA used McLaren as a sacrificial lamb to protect Ferrari's image. Spygate wasn't just espionage. It was a soap opera, a Cold War, and a conspiracy all rolled into one. And it still divides fans today. Was justice served, or was McLaren just the unlucky fall guy? The fuel flow files, Red Bull versus the FIA in 2014. New regulations, hybrid engines, everyone's confused, and Red Bull, they're furious. At the 2014 Australian Grand Prix, Daniel Ricciardo crossed the line second. The crowd went wild. A home podium for Australia. Then, hours later, disqualification. Why? The FIA claimed Red Bull had ignored fuel flow sensor readings. Their car was delivering more than the legal 100 kilograms per hour of fuel. Red Bull insisted their own sensors told a different story. They argued the FIA's sensors were faulty. The FIA replied, "Doesn't matter, ours is the law." Here's the conspiracy angle. Fans believed the FIA were deliberately clipping Red Bull's wings. After 4 years of Vettel domination, the sport needed someone else to win. Enter Mercedes, who just happened to start an 8-year dynasty that day. Was it dodgy sensors? Was it politics? All we know is Ricciardo's fairy tale podium vanished, and Red Bull's season was poisoned from round 1. To this day, fuel flow is a trigger phrase for fans who think the FIA quietly decided who got to dominate the hybrid era.